16 airlines, one bracket, and no second chances. Welcome to the Flyman Yann Aviation World Cup. In season 1, I'm putting Europe's biggest flag carriers through a brutal elimination tournament. From the trenches of economy class to the luxury of business class in the finals. Lose a match and the airline is grounded. To move on, they have to get the most wins across 5 categories. Ground experience, the seat, hospitality, amenities, and the toilets. We're starting with one of the oldest rivalries in history, the UK versus Ireland, with British Airways against Aer Lingus. The bracket is set, the flights are booked. Let's see who survives round 1. Welcome to the Aviation World Cup. This is going to be the first of many, many flights in this series, and I'm really excited to get started. Right now I'm in Frankfurt, so let's jump on the train to the airport to catch our very first flight for today with Aer Lingus. Let's do it. Alright, I finally made it, and I'm here outside Frankfurt Terminal 2. I've only been here once before and I forgot how massive this airport was. When I got here, I got lost a bit walking around, had to take another Skyline train. But anyway, I've made it. Let's head inside and check in. I've flown with Aer Lingus more times than I can count. It's one of my most flown airlines. I used to work for a client in Dublin, so I'd fly with them twice a week, so I'm very familiar with the product. But that was quite a few years ago, so let's go and see if anything's changed.
Check-in was an absolute breeze today. No queues at all, and I got my boarding pass ready to fly.
I've actually turned up a bit early today because I did not sleep at all last night. I was staying near the main station area, the Hauptbahnhof, and I didn't realize this is like a really dodgy part of Frankfurt. There was people outside my hotel room like screaming and shouting till like 5 in the morning. So at that point I'm like, okay, let's get up, get breakfast. So I've made it to the airport. Let's get through security and let's find a lounge for a bit of peace and quiet. Frankfurt Airport is massive. It's the busiest and largest airport in Germany and the 3rd busiest in all of Europe. There's no shortage of duty-free, shopping and places to eat here, but this is Flyman Yann. Let's go find a lounge.
The Primeclass lounge was a bit on the smaller side, but thankfully it was nice and empty and quiet. The food selection wasn't great, with some scrambled eggs and just about enough to make a small salad. There's coffee and beers, but I'm more interested in this section. And look what I found under here. Let's add a point for sparkling wine on the scoreboard. If you're wondering what this champagne scoreboard is all about, I'll tell you in the next lounge. This one was way too quiet for me to start talking loudly to my camera. Alright, let's head to the gate.
While I wait for boarding to start, let me tell you a bit more about Aer Lingus.
Founded in 1936, Aer Lingus is Ireland's flag carrier, with a name derived from the Irish word Aer Lingus. I've probably said that wrong, meaning air fleet. From its Dublin hub, the airline operates a North Atlantic gateway, connecting Europe to over 20 North American cities. Its modern all-Airbus fleet is led by the long-range A321XLR and the flagship A330 widebody. Staying true to its heritage, every single Aer Lingus aircraft is named after an Irish saint.
Now, I'm going to be visiting a lot of countries through the course of this series, and to help me stay connected while I'm abroad, I'm going to be using Airlo, which have kindly sponsored this video. Airlo is an eSIM store which offers data packages for over 200 destinations around the world. So I'll definitely be covered for the 16 or so countries I'll be traveling to around Europe as part of this season, and you'll definitely be covered wherever you're traveling around the world. And they also have unlimited data packages, so you never have to worry about running out of data.
One of my favorite things with Airlo is that I can be instantly connected the second I touch down without having the hassle of waiting to get off the plane and queuing to buy a SIM at an airport counter. I simply open up the Airlo app, buy and install an eSIM plan for where I'm going. In this case, I bought the Europe Regional package, which covers 42 countries in Europe with just the one eSIM. And when I land, I just turn on the eSIM and I'm connected to the internet. I can message my family that I've landed safely and start looking up directions to the city center straight away.
So if you want to save time, money, and waste on your next trip, download Airlo and use my code FlymanYann to get money off your first eSIM plan. You can scan the QR code on the screen, click the link in the description, and don't forget to use my discount code FlymanYann. Now, let's catch this flight.
Boarding had just started at gate D6, and it's never a good sign when you have to head to the ground level. And when I got down here, my worst fear was confirmed, the dreaded bus gate. And to make matters worse, once we reached the aircraft, we spent another 40 minutes inside the bus waiting to be let off. So I had plenty of time to look at the 21-year-old A320 I'd be flying on today, named after the Irish saint Conleth. Eventually, we were set free and could make our way on board.
Oh man, we finally made it on board. We had a bus gate and then we took the bus to the aircraft and waited about 45 minutes in the bus, like cooking up with the sun, just waiting. I don't know why they didn't just let us wait in the gate area, but anyway, we finally made it on board. Let's look around the seat and get in the sky.
The seat was really comfortable actually. I found the padding to be more substantial than you usually find on short-haul economy seats. There was an adjustable headrest with folding wings which moved upwards and downwards. The legroom was decent with 30 inches of seat pitch, which is on the upper end of what you can expect on European short-haul economy. The recline was pretty minimal, but still enough to panic the person behind me when I reclined. And this one's a bit random, but I noticed the tray table was quite large, which is nice to see. Now, boarding is complete, so let's get in the sky and see what the service is like. The crew started the trolley service 35 minutes after takeoff and were taking orders from the in-flight menu. I was tempted by this full Irish breakfast, but it was only served before 11 AM, so I had the all-day breakfast wrap instead.
I've just finished the food and I've got to say Aer Lingus is starting off strong. Even though there's no complimentary drink or snack, I got the Irish breakfast wrap meal deal with a drink and crisps, and that breakfast wrap was delicious. And another thing I've got to give Aer Lingus points for, usually when you order a hot item from the buy on board menu, they have to wait to put it in the oven, heat it up, and you're waiting 10-15 minutes to get it. Here, they've got a selection, I guess they must preheat a few, so I ordered and I got my food straight away, so very happy with the meal. Thumbs up for Aer Lingus.
Now, how about the toilets?
Alright, it's time for the toilet inspection. Let's have a look around. It's actually a pretty decently sized toilet for an A320 aircraft. It's completely spotless, clean. We got some little paper here. Nothing really more to add. Standard, looks good. So let's get back to the seat and see what kind of amenities are on offer. You're not going to find seatback entertainment screens here in Europe, it's just not really a thing. But unfortunately, Aer Lingus does not have Wi-Fi or charging on this flight, so nothing on the amenities side.
It wasn't too much longer until we'd crossed over the Irish coast, being greeted by the lush green fields of Ireland, and started our descent into Dublin Airport.
So, what's the final verdict? Well, overall, I thought that was a really pleasant flight. I always remembered the Aer Lingus seats being really comfortable, and I still find that's the case today. I thought the meal was definitely a highlight. I thought the food, the sandwich breakfast wrap was delicious. But now the question is, can British Airways beat them? Let's find out. Good morning from Istanbul. So let's find out if British Airways holds up against Aer Lingus. I'll be flying back to London Heathrow today, but first I've got a whole other journey, which is the Istanbul Metro. Let's get this started. Istanbul Airport is absolutely massive. It's the biggest terminal building under a single roof in the world. It's the biggest airport built from scratch, and it's the second busiest airport in Europe. Let's head inside. British Airways is my most flown airline. Today is actually going to be my 99th flight with them. It's crazy to think I'm almost at 100 flights just with BA. I've flown with BA across all cabins, economy, premium, business and first class, so I'm really familiar with their product. Most of those were on short-haul European hops like this one, so let's go check in and see what the experience is like.
Well, there's certainly a much larger queue for this flight compared to the Aer Lingus one.
I didn't even bother joining the check-in queue today. It was way too long, so I did my mobile check-in. I'm heading through security now. And one thing I remember from being here before is the international airside area has a really extensive lounge. So let's get through security. Hopefully I can find some champagne in there.
Istanbul Airport is impressive. It's pretty new, having opened in 2018, and it's large, modern, busy, and kind of feels like a luxury shopping mall. The main downside is the amount of walking you have to do to get around. But I'm here for the lounge. And you know it's going to be big when there's a map to find your way around. Just to be clear, all the lounges I'm visiting in the economy rounds have nothing to do with the airlines. They're just contract lounges I'm entering using my lounge cards. But anyway, talk about first impressions. I don't think I've ever been to a lounge with a live quartet playing music inside. It was quite busy inside. It was especially packed near the entrance, but the lounge was so large, if you ventured deep enough, you could find corners with plenty of seating. The central dining area has a large buffet with salads, a live chef station with hot food, and loads of sweet treats. Soft drinks were self-serve from the fridge, but I'm more interested in this terrace overlooking the terminal below with a 360-degree cocktail bar in the middle.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you, man?
Good, good. Do you have any champagne?
Only one, vino.
Sparkling wine? No.
Everything, no.
Okay, no problem. White wine, then, please.
Nice.
As I promised earlier, let me explain what the champagne side quest is. So for those of you new to the channel, I love champagne. It runs through my veins and I want to drink it any opportunity I get. So anytime I go to a lounge, I always try and order a glass. If I don't have any luck, like today, just white wine, we add an X to the scoreboard. If we get sparkling wine, we add bubbles to the scoreboard. And if we get the ultimate goal, the glass of champagne, then we can add that to the scoreboard. So that's the champagne side quest, and I'll be doing it every time I go to a lounge. Oh, and it has no effect on the final score of airline rankings or anything. It's just a bit of fun. Cheers.
I could keep going on about the lounge, the pool table, the outdoor terrace, the second bar, but it looks like my BA plane has just landed, so let's head to the gate.
I'm at the gate waiting for boarding, and while I do that, let me give you a brief overview of British Airways.
British Airways is the UK's flag carrier, tracing its roots back to the world's first scheduled international flight in 1919, before officially forming via a merger in 1974. Operating from its primary hubs at London Heathrow and Gatwick, BA serves over 200 destinations across all 6 inhabited continents. They have a diverse fleet of over 280 aircraft, ranging from the short-haul Airbus A320 family we're about to fly on, to wide bodies like the 777, 787, A350 and A380. And an interesting fact, BA was the first airline in the world to introduce a fully flat bed in business class, and if they make it to the finals, you'll get to see it.
Okay then, BA to London, flights boarding, let's do it.
Here's the A320 BA is flying on this route. Not quite as old as Aer Lingus though, at only 12 years old. As I board, let's look at the first category winner, the ground experience. While we're still in the economy rounds, there's a bit less to judge on here, but despite the much longer check-in queues with BA, they didn't leave us cooking in a bus for 40 minutes, so I've got to give the ground experience category win to British Airways.
Alright, I'm settled into my seat 9F on this A320. The flight was originally meant to be scheduled on a brand new A321neo with the new BA seats with the red trim, but the aircraft got swapped last minute, so now we're on a pretty old A320. Anyway, I've flown on this aircraft many times, so let me show you around.
I like the plain, dark color of the seats. I think it still looks sleek despite being the older design. But with less padding, they are definitely not as comfortable as the Aer Lingus ones. Just like Aer Lingus though, the headrests are 4-way adjustable. Legroom at my seat is good, also with 30 inches of seat pitch, but watch out. From row 13 and back, the seat pitch reduces to 29 inches, so most seats on this aircraft have less legroom. The recline was pretty minimal on here too. It felt about the same as Aer Lingus. So for the seat category win, because of the much more comfortable padding and the better legroom across the majority of seats, this one's going to Aer Lingus. Looks like boarding is complete, so let's push back and see who's winning the rest of the categories in the sky. BA were quick to action. Only 15 minutes after takeoff, the crew were handing out a complimentary drink and snack to passengers.
Okay, I've just finished up the meal service. For starters, the crew were handing out a complimentary small bottle of water and a snack to start with. Today it was a flapjack and it tasted pretty good. So it's great to see something free handed out in economy for passengers. Then the trolley service started, where you can buy from the onboard menu. I wanted to get the heated sausage bap, but it was completely sold out. They had none in stock, and I'm only in row 2 of economy, and no one in front of me ordered it, so the plane wasn't stocked basically. So not so great start. In the end, I ended up swapping it out for a ham and cheese toastie, which tasted good. They said it would take 10 minutes to heat. It took closer to 20, maybe a bit more. So unlike the Aer Lingus flight where they had everything heated, ready to go, here you order your food and you're still waiting for a bit. And then I had Diet Coke and mini eggs, which I love. It's been a while since I've been back in the UK, and I really, really love mini eggs. So it was great to see that on the menu. Otherwise, meal service was fine. One other thing I will say about BA is the cabin crew here. I always find incredibly friendly. Like the crew were having a chat with me, they were making some jokes. So I always really enjoy like the attitude and friendliness and approach of the British Airways crew. So that's a plus for them there. But when it comes to the hospitality category, there can only be one winner, and that's gonna be
Aer Lingus. The breakfast wrap on Aer Lingus really was that much better, and I loved the fact that they had preheated items, so you didn't have to wait 25 minutes after ordering to get your food. Let's head to the back of the plane to see how the toilets hold up.
Alright, toilet inspection time. What do we have here? Well, first of all, it's pretty cramped in here, this one at the back. It's relatively clean. There's a bit of tissue on the floor here, a few water drops, but otherwise it's a clean toilet. There's soap, nothing really more special to add. Nice big mirror here though, and that's pretty much it. Alright, and there's a bit of turbulence starting, so let me get back to my seat.
But before I get back, who's winning this category? Well, in economy, there's not usually much to differentiate the toilets, but in this case, the toilets on BA were very cramped compared to the Aer Lingus ones, which felt much more roomy. And I also hate when airlines install these tiny sinks like on BA. Your hands just end up touching all the surfaces because there's not enough space, and it's kind of nasty. The Aer Lingus sink was much more practical. And if it's not clear already, the toilet category winner goes to Aer Lingus.
And what about the amenities? Well, no IFE screen as expected, but there is onboard Wi-Fi. If you're a member of the BA club, you get complimentary messaging access, which is nice, and then you can pay a bit more if you want to get access to full internet packages with streaming. And there's also a charging socket, international power socket below the seat. There's 2 sockets per row of 3, so you might need to share, and also USB-A, so good. And because of that, when it comes to the amenities category, the winner's gonna have to be
easily British Airways. Aer Lingus basically didn't have anything on my flight, so with charging sockets and Wi-Fi available, it's an easy amenities category win for BA. The seatbelt sign just turned on, and we had started our descent through a thick layer of clouds until, surprise, surprise, a grey and rainy London emerged below.
Here here at Heathrow Terminal 5 in the secret tunnels. It's been a while since I've been back in the UK and it's good to be back. And that's kind of how I feel about British Airways. I know it's not the best airline in the world, but it feels like home. But the question is that homely feeling enough to let it win the very first match of the Aviation World Cup?
And the answer is, unfortunately not. With 3 category wins for Aer Lingus against 2 for British Airways, Aer Lingus is the winner of the very first match in round 1 of the Flyman Yann Aviation World Cup. BA is grounded, and Aer Lingus will continue on to the quarter-finals, where they'll battle in short-haul business class against next week's winner. So tune in next week, where Air France will go head-to-head with KLM.
And that's it for episode 1 of the Aviation World Cup. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with the result, or what your experiences have been like on Aer Lingus or British Airways. Don't forget to subscribe, because I'll be dropping a new episode every week. Like, and as always, till next time.